Hey guys, what's up? Zuha here, and today I'm bringing you another tutorial on how to make a Minecraft banner. So in my last tutorial I kinda used some paid rigs and packs, but in this tutorial I'm gonna go solely free, other than the fact that you need Photoshop and Cinema 4D for this tutorial to work. Alright, so you will need Photoshop and Cinema 4D as I just said, and you will need to go in the description and download this pack that I'll have in the description. It will be free. It will have everything that I'm going to be using in this tutorial. So yeah, just download that and we'll get started. So first things first, you probably want to get Cinema 4D R15 Plus. Otherwise, I have a feeling that the Lightroom that we'll be using won't work. So once you've got it, I'm using R17.032. So just get R17 if you want to follow my steps. Well, it's gonna be the same anyway, but if you want to just be sure, get R17 and then you'll be ready to go. Alright, so open the pack that you've got in the description. I'll probably put the rigs that I end up using, like extra rigs, in here as well as I go along, and they will all be free. So yeah, you want to first open up the Atmo Lightroom, and there we go, just get out the camera. There we go. So this Lightroom's by Atmo Artworks. He's pretty famous for making banners. Believe he's around 40k right now. Okay, and then you want to just drag in the rig. This makes your character. So oh, what did I do there? Let me try that again. Drag in the rig. There we go, and then double click this. And okay, so this is the rig that we're going to be using. I'm going to be making a banner for Latency, if you guys know him. It's not paid or anything, it's just an example. If he uses it, then cool. So yeah. Alright, so with this rig, it's so cool, it's free, and it might look black to start off with, but that's because you need to click here and apply the skin, where it says skin just here. So click the dot 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 there, and you want to find your skin. So I've got it in my downloads. There we go, Latency skin, and it's this way. And yeah, this is what it's going to look like to start off with. I'm just going to quickly create a backup, so save as. I'm going to call this Latency. So yeah, always keep saving, because Cinema 4D and Photoshop tend to crash a lot. So yeah, always keep saving with Control S as you go along. And yeah, create backups, because some files can be corrupted. That's one thing I would make sure that you guys do. Alright, so first thing that we can see is his eyes are red, and if you look at Latency's skin, if I type in Latency on Google real quick, you can see that his eyes are blue. So we want to get blue eyes just here. Yeah, so let's just do that real quick. So if you go into the rig here, you can always just look for that bit. So right pupil, we want it to be a bluish color. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to open that name MC again, namemc.com, Latency, just to find his skin. And what you can actually do is, well, I'm not sure if you can actually, but you might be able to. If I drag that to my other monitor, hold on. If I actually cancel out that, split the screen up, and then click this and use the pick tool, you can actually select the colors. So I'm assuming this is the top half. Oh no, that's just a different, okay, yeah. So I'm going to go with a lighter color because it stands out more than the darker one. And same with the other eye. Well, for the other eye, we can just select that. And there we go. Alright, so now that we've got the eyes in place, we can actually start to toggle with them a bit down here. I kind of like the size as it is already, 100%. I think I'll stick to 93. So we've got a mouth as well that we can mess around with. So let's extrude first. So to start extruding, what extruding is, first of all, if you haven't seen my past tutorial, is it basically makes your characters like hair, arms and that look a bit more 3D and punchy and stand out, rather than having a flat 2D layer here. So what we're going to do is, I believe it's not going to let, yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is go into layers, and see, I've already imported some, so it might be a bit hard, but you've got to find the right layer. So I'm assuming it might be this layer. No, it's not that layer. That layer? Yeah, it's that layer. As you can see, it lets us click it. So I'm going to just hold shift, and then drag it with this tool up here. So shift, click shift, drag it 100. You can drag it to 80 or something, just somewhere where it gets out of the way. Click on the faces tool here and the live selection tool up here. What that lets us do is actually select the faces in which we want to extrude. So I like to always go into let me just show you how I did that. So yeah, select it all, hold shift and start to select it all, and then press D on your keyboard. Go into attributes down here if it's not automatically. Sometimes it does it automatically, but yeah, just go into attributes down there, set it to 3, and then I like to grab something along the same lines as what it already is at, so that, and then I like to go 6, and then let's go 3, and then we can reset it by just going down here and hitting 0 and then enter, or we can just hold shift again and put it back 100 that way. And there we go, we've got extruded hair now, and you can kind of see it's a bit punchy now and it looks a bit cooler. Okay, now that we've got it all extruded, I kind of want to change the color of the eyebrows, as you know, it doesn't suit the black hair that he's got. So just click on here, you can go into options and scroll down. You can see it's kind of a brownish color, but we're going to just go straight black. And that didn't actually change the eyebrow color, which is quite strange. Here it goes, because it's a different eyebrow type. There's 1 and 2, so version 1. I guess they look kind of angry, so, and then there's 2, so if I just set that to black, set them both to black, because I might use the other, like this one, in another render. That I'll do later for him. But yeah, as for now, I'm going to stick with them ones. Okay, so now we can, I'm just going to explain what this bit here does. So this is the facial area, so you can see the eyes look a bit angry there. Open and closed. Closed, I think, yeah, underneath. Oh, that's the head size. You want a ginormous head. Then you've also got the eyebrows controllers here, a mouth controller that like positions where the mouth's gonna be. Then you've got this one here that makes him boss-eyed, or I don't even know what that is, derpy. Mouth controller, and again, mouth controller. So I think I'm gonna make him smile a bit in this one. So let's make him. And then I'm assuming this bit down here like rotates his jaw. Yeah. And then probably put it a bit to the left. Or the right. Now left a bit. Okay, so we can start actually positioning him. So I'm actually going to extrude the arms here. Alright, so to start extruding the arms, you just want to click so this bit goes there. And make sure you do have the layer unlocked still from the head layer, which is normally the 5.0 body layer, but as you can see there's loads because I've tried dragging in loads of rigs before, so layers tend to stay even if you delete a rig, but you know. So then you want to select same as we did before here and live selection, and then you want to go hit U and then L. I'm just going to do the bottom bit. You can do these bits, but actually yeah, let's do these bits instead. Okay, so hit D on your keyboard and then attributes and set that to 90 and set that to 3 and hit apply. And that looks a bit strange. Let's keep it at 91 actually. I think that might fix it a bit. Yeah. Okay, so now it looks a bit bulky, but what you can do is do Control A and then I think K. Yep, K for your knife, and then hit this one here under attributes and go into loop, and then you just want to like split it. So right where it tends to start, so there and there, there and there. I think that looks good. Can't really see with the controller in the way, but yeah, it looks a bit more roundish, I guess, and not bulky. I think actually I'm gonna go back and make it 1 extrusion because it looks a bit too much, or maybe 2. I'm not sure. Let's go with a 1.5. And then do the knifing again. Yeah, that looks a bit better. And it's not too bulky. Okay, and I'm going to do the same with this arm. So, do the same again. Make sure you click it. And live selection after you select the face layer. Option even. And hit UL for a ring. Hold shift, click again. And then D, 1.591. Apply. Control A to select all. And then hit K on your keyboard for the knife tool. And just go on this bit here and cut it there, and same with this one. It depends what skin you're using, to be honest, but you can adjust it accordingly. And yeah, that looks fine. I'm going to save it to create a backup, and there we go. Alright, so I'm also going to extrude the bottom here, and then we'll get on to actually positioning the character. What I tend to do is actually, like, when I mean by rig, I mean like model a character, extrude it, do everything, the eyes, and then copy it to make a backup of it, and then I can use the same character to create a second, or even third if you're doing 3 or 4. I don't know how many renders you want to do of latency or whatever character you're doing, but you know. But yeah, I tend to create one, main one, and then work off of it. So let's do the legs. What we can do here is UL again. Shift, and then these two. D. I think 1 will be okay. Do you think we need to do knifing? Let's see. Control A, K. It might be good to do some. Just a little bit to make. Yeah, just do it like that. That looks good. Okay, let's do the same here. UL. Select the ring around here. And then this one, hold shift still. D. Apply. Control A. K. And then you want to just... how did I do it? Yeah, there. Knife that there. And knife that there. Okay, that looks good to me. Alright, so now that you've got your whole thing done, actually with this rig, something cool is you can actually have fingers, but I'm going to leave them out for now. I will add them in just a second. So once you've done, what I'm going to do is actually duplicate the rig by clicking here, hitting Control C, Control V, and then yes, and then just hold shift or whatever and just drag him out the way. Tend to try drag them well out the way so they don't get anywhere in the way, and maybe even just that doesn't want to work, but it's okay. Alright, so now we're ready to start positioning this guy, and I was thinking I'm gonna actually download some extra rigs to make this look a bit cooler. Alright guys, so I remember using this pack a while ago for one of my banners. It's quite cool, it's free, so I'm gonna use this pack, so I'll put the link in the description to this as well, and or even just include it to the pack. So yeah, I'm gonna be using this pack as it has some quite neat things, and I didn't find anything I really liked for the banner style that I'm planning to go with. So yeah, alright guys, so now that I've got the pack in here, we can actually open it up and drag this in, and now we can find one we like, so we can get a bow, a sword. So I'm thinking about doing a bow for this one, but I don't think I'm gonna have him using it, in a sense that it's, yeah, you'll see what I mean. And it looks like the way this is made, it actually automatically positions the rig onto your character, which is kind of cool. So another thing you can do is just actually drag it into the rig. So if we actually open this one up and we look for wait, is it going to be in bones? Oh, it'll be in bones as well. Control waist. So you might need to unlock the joints layer, and drag in the bow, not the bow, the bag, I guess, into the waist. And now what that's gonna do is let us, well, it's actually doing some subdivisions, so maybe if I put it in the control waist, is that gonna be annoying or not? Let's see. Okay, it seems like it's gonna be laggy despite it anyway, but you know, it's a really smooth rig. So yeah, let's just drag it in anyway to the waist and close that. And yeah, it's still not working. So I think what we're gonna have to do is put it in the control back. So, or even just the back itself. So yeah, now it's moving with. One thing I forgot to mention is that if you want this thing to actually show in your rig, you've got to click these two so that they're green. And yeah, you don't need to do it for the bow. Well, actually you do. Just make sure that they're all showing green, and that means you'll actually render in the final thing. So yeah, put it in the control, or the back, in the control back. So you have to go quite deep into the rig, but once you're there it will be fine. And the bow, I'm just gonna put that in his hand when I get the chance. And yeah, so let's start positioning how I want him to stand. So I was thinking, if the camera, we tend to keep the camera in this area pointing that way, but I was thinking maybe I could just do something like this. And then I kind of want him to bend down a bit, but at the same time that's gonna like mess with the rig there, but and then we can move his eyes just here. If you're wondering how I'm doing all these, you can go here, rotation, movement. You don't tend to use resize, but R and E switch between them both. So R is rotation, E is movement. So I'm just gonna make him, I think actually with this rig I'm gonna have his eyebrows the angry version, so V1, and maybe make him look a bit just a little bit more angrier, and move that there. If you get in the camera, you can actually start to position how I want the render to look like. I think maybe even I'll have him bend backwards a bit and then loop around forward. So let's see how I can do this. And then maybe have him look a bit to this side. Okay, and let's actually drag this around here. You can use these bits, they can be quite useful. I find them really useful when I'm animating, but in graphics I don't tend to find them that useful, but you can use them. I want to see if this rig actually, yeah, let's see if this rig has some smooth deformers. I don't think it does. No, it doesn't. But that's okay. I wanted this to be more round, but it's alright. I'm gonna put on the fingers as well, so if you go down here and we hit, I believe it's under here, fingers. We go. Okay, let's move that a bit. Let's also maybe move that like that. And we want the bow to be in his hand there, so I'm just gonna drag that up. Maybe even just put it in his hand. how would he hold the bow? I mean, there wouldn't be an arrow in it, would there, right now? So if we delete the arrow itself and just keep the bow there. It might look a bit weird from where he's holding it, but it might not be noticeable, so it's all about trial and error graphics, and the more you do it the better you'll get at making it. So let's try that, and then let's actually get the fingers to somewhat hold, I guess we could select them all and then adjust them a wee bit. So we'll kind of want it like that, and then a bit more open. Okay, that's starting to look really good, that one is. Just adjust these fingers a bit. So these things here are the controllers. They can be a bit small and annoying, because like you're gonna end up hitting the other ones, but you have to like rotate your camera to adjust it. Make sure you always, right, so I didn't really explain this, but this thing here is the camera. So if you're in it, you're gonna start messing around with it itself. So always, this white thing means you're in it, and then when it's black, it means you're not in it. So make sure you stay out of the camera whilst you're, I guess, editing. I'm just gonna make a basic one out of all of them by selecting them all and then moving them a bit, and now we can adjust them just a little bit to make it have some naturality, if that's a word. And I guess that looks alright. One thing I might do actually is, no, that's okay. Do that. Maybe rotate his wrist a bit. I kind of want the bow to be a bit more. See, that's not gonna work, is it? I need to put the bow inside his hand. So if I wonder if it'll come up with type hand. Yeah. So in FMR there's this thing. If I just set this to tools, if I call this like tools.bow, I guess, and then it will let me search both of them up. This just makes it a little bit easier. So you want it in his right hand, drag it there. Or actually, this is where it gets a bit confusing. Okay, so yeah, you need to drag it in and then click this and this, so it makes it viewable. Now what you can do, I dragged it into the wrong one. Yeah, so see what I did? I dragged it into the other rig, which was behind there. So make sure you're dragging it into the right rig, because it makes two of the same thing. But yeah, so yeah, that thing there makes it viewable in the editor, which is this bit. But when you actually render it, you want it viewable as well. So yeah, just leave that on. Okay, let's go into the camera. I think what I'm gonna do is, maybe we can leave it like that. Or is that like getting in the way of his face? I think that there looks perfect to me. So yeah, alright, so I think I've done the render on this one, and once you've done, you see this grey line here, and this grey line here, that's where your render won't happen. This lighter area here is where it will happen, so you want to make sure your character's right in line with it. So you can zoom out a little if you're trying to get the perfect position out of him. So I think that looks good right there. And yeah, so I'm done with this render. So one thing I forgot to mention before you start rendering is you probably want to make a skin that doesn't have these errors here. So yeah, just follow me real quick. So quickly open Photoshop. This won't take too long. It's just, yeah, if you've got a skin that can be annoying, basically what you want to do is find the original skin and remove the eyes and replace it with, I guess, skin, like this texture here. So yeah, it shouldn't take too long. So once you're in Photoshop, just simply file, open, and find the latency skin, or whichever skin you're using, and yeah, just select a chunk of it, Control C, Control V to duplicate, and just do it again, Control V, and that'll look fine just like that. And then file, save as a PNG, and I don't know, call it latency no eyes, I guess. And then you just want to replace it. I'm just going to replace it on both by holding shift, and it's fine, latency no eyes. There we go. And you can see now there's no white bit there. And yeah, so you can carry on rendering, I guess. What I'm going to do is just click the settings bar up here and go on to save, and you want to hit this thing here, and you need to find a place where you're going to save your render even. So I'm just going to save it in here as latency render 1 and output. So when you do your other one, make sure you choose a different name. And output, that's all fine to me. And also, because the rendering does take really long, like it took me about 10 minutes and I found an error when I got to this part. So what I like to do is just click lock ratio, set this to 2160, yep, and I'll just render it in a lower 4K resolution, which will be a bit quicker, because that resolution is immense. If you don't really need it that much, to be honest. It's only if you want to crop in like right on the eyes or something. So yeah, and then yeah, hit render. Alright, so once you've done both your renders, which I've got here, so is latency render 1, so it's a bit dark there. This is all going to be like edited in Photoshop, so it might look a bit meh right now. But you can see all the shadows, etc. on the hands and arms. That's what the Lightroom does. And the bows there, and the quiver. Did I not add the quiver? I guess you can't just
make sure they're all showing clean.
You can't see it, but there was a quiver there, I'm pretty sure. It's just strange. I can't be bothered to go back and fix that now, but you know. Yep, and then number 2, yeah, I've added like a sword pack kind of thing going on. Here, a sword there, and then the I don't know what they're called, like shurikens or something, God knows. And yeah, the legs, hands, yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. You want to just click on file, place to import them. Make sure you open this thing here basically is a guide. If you go here, unlock this, you can change your name to, I guess, I don't know, why is it not letting me change it? It might be a bit laggy, but yeah, you can change it. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it as your name though. Make sure you keep that locked though when you're not using it, and it keeps it so you don't mess around with it, like, you know. Yeah, so these lines are the guides here, the rulers, them, and here's where you will see the main text. So make sure you have everything you want to see here, so the text must be within this area. and this will appear on mobile. This is the smallest it will go basically. Anything bigger is like tablet, etc., and then TV and desktop, PCs, Mac, etc. So yeah, you want to keep anything you make underneath this thing, and then this thing is just I'll show you what they are in just a second. So to start with, you're gonna go here, file, place, and you just want to find where your renders are. So here's my first one. I'm actually gonna save this as a backup. Let's call it latency. Okay, right click it here and go into rasterize layer, and now if you were to lower this down, right click copy layer style and then paste it, you can see how it kind of lightens up and looks a bit cooler. So yeah, I've added so yeah, I've also added some more, so you know, you can check them out. Paste and paste. They might look a bit dark, but that's the whole point. You're meant to configure them, but I'll show you just how to do that right now. So Control J to duplicate, or right click and duplicate layer. Oh, that's delete the layer. No, we want to go into duplicate. So there, and right click, create clipping mask, and then apply said style onto clipping mask. So yeah, like that, and then you can just lower it a bit. So about that looks quite cool, and then you can merge them together. So I like to keep it quite simple like that. So I'm also going to do the other render. Let's import the other render, which is here. Let's hide that other one, and that makes it easier for us to see. It's kind of weird with all this stuff. Normally I like to say create a shape like this, just put it underneath. Control H. Oh, I duplicate that. Control H gets rid of the rulers. So if you have a shape underneath, just a plain shape, it makes it stand out and easier to edit with. Some people tend to do like a grey color, so like that. But yeah, so rasterize, duplicate, control create clipping mask. So Control J is to duplicate, which I think I said, but you know, just say again. Paste layer style, and let's lower the opacity a bit and merge them together. Alright, so there's also some small errors that you can probably see. So if I were to zoom in here, actually that's not even an error. I thought it was, but yeah, it's just the background color kind of messing with it. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with them. Okay, so now we're gonna actually start making the banner. So let's bring them right to the bottom. Let's minimize that. Okay, so they've actually decided to go inside the group, so let's take them out there, minimize that, and let's Control H again to see what we're dealing with. So I'm gonna probably just put that one on that side for now and that one on that side. They look a bit big at the moment, but don't worry about that. I'm gonna actually import the images that I'm gonna use. These I'm afraid aren't from a free pack, but you can always go on Google, YouTube. I know Dragiboom has a really good free pack. There's other people that have free packs. So like Dragiboom's, he's got some nice free screenshot packs, but I'm gonna go with Hansel's because they're quite dark and it kind of suits the ninja theme I'm going with. So yeah, I'm gonna try stick with this dark kind of feel to it. Although I don't know which screenshots I want to use. Maybe I'll use a pretty light one, but if I rasterize that, there we go. Yeah, so always make it a little bit bigger when you do get it, and then Control A, and you can center it like that. Drag that to the bottom, and there you go. You've got yourself kind of the image now that you're looking for. So I'm gonna actually resize that down a bit. Maybe have it like that, and then resize this one down a bit. Put it just maybe there, and maybe I'll put that one there. Okay, so I want latency there in the middle, but I kind of want to go with a 3D text style on it. But yeah, for now I'm gonna start color correcting it. So you know, I think I'm gonna do that on the background. So just there, just to give it a more of a pop feel for the two characters. And then add some curves to add some contrast to the image. And then let's maybe maybe do something like that. And then wanna go with a blue kind of tone for this, so I'm gonna do that. Increase the density a little bit. Go. Let's also add here's the gradient map, one of these, and these is that one alright as it is? Kind of like that one as it is, but yeah, I think it's, you can just mess around. This part's all about messing around with the different layers. So scrolling through these. I think I'm gonna do soft light on there, and I kind of like that as it is. So if you select all of these and hit the group button, it'll group them together. No, it won't. In fact, you have to put them in the group. But yeah, and then you can see how it looks with CC and without CC. So yeah, that's kind of the basics about it all. You can do other things like this. Duplicate a layer, go onto filter gallery. This is what I used to do, but I've kind of gone off of it. I think it was, I think that's how I used to do it. So that's color dodge. I might actually do it this time. 25, and just get the eraser tool and go about where you don't want it. So I kind of like it on the ring bits and the shuriken quite a bit. Okay, see what I've got here is a strange, oh I undid too much. If you don't know what undo is, it's Control Alt Z. I don't really know the redo, step forward, Control Shift Z. Okay, so let's zoom in a bit so we know what we're doing. So with this brush, it's on like the hard mode, so we want it on the soft mode. Just so we're erasing what we want to erase. You should never have it on the skin, first of all, because it looks a bit weird, unless that's just your style. See, I kind of like what it's doing on the back and the hair there. So yeah, that one looks quite okay. Let's also do it on this one. So let's create a clipping mask after duplicating it, and you can just do that. Set that to color dodge 25%. Oh, and select the layer. And just erase it where you feel the need to. There we go. That looks cool. But yeah, obviously if you can merge them now. But obviously if you start moving them around, it's gonna be a bit weird. Like you can see a bit of separation. Well, not really, but you know, normally you would do this like beforehand, but I think I kind of want it so you can see what's going on here with this guy. So let's just rotate it, make it a bit smaller. I like how the leg looks like that though, so there we go. That looks cool. Okay, so I'm gonna actually do 3D text. So to do that, I'm gonna hop on over into Cinema 4D and start making it. So let's just I guess we can delete these now. Okay, let's okay, so you want to go to MoGraph, MoText, and type in latency or whoever you're making the banner for, and you want to find a good font. The font I'm gonna use, I think, might be Mikado Ultra. It depends how, you know, his name, as in the characters, look in that font. Actually, I think I'm gonna go with Longhall, because Longhall's quite a nice font to use. It's just a matter of waiting for it to load. Any second now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, if you have a lot of fonts, it can take a while to load in Cinema 4D. So I've got over like 10,000. So Longhall is Longhall. If you see fonts on the way that you might like, I just tend to click them. So like, yeah, I don't really like. There we go, Longhall. So I feel like Longhall will suit a lot. So I'm gonna use Longhall. So increase the depth a bit and resize it a bit to the sense that a character would be. So like there, I guess. And they're a bit too close together in my opinion. So I'm gonna just space them out a bit, like so, maybe 12. Yep, and let's add some fillet caps into caps. This makes it have rounder layers, so let's do 1 for now. Actually, that looks a bit, let's do 2. Okay, and then I like to let's just duplicate it. Actually, let me think. Okay, let's press C on it. So if you press the C key, it becomes into a group kind of thing. And let's take them out. Let's then add a MoGraph fracture. And what that does is, if we drag these into here, it can be a part of that, and we can apply things such as, I don't know, let's just show you, so you know what I'm on about, like randoms and stuff. It just makes it a lot better and more what's the term, more flexible to what you can do. One thing you want to do is center the positioning on all of these, but first let's duplicate all of them, because we're gonna also add while selecting all the ones you just duplicated, let's set this to 3 and then set the depth of it, which is there. Just move it down a bit so you can see how it's going back a bit there, and then push it back a bit there. So now you've got like an outline kind of thing going on. I might actually set the cap to more than 3, so maybe 5, just so it stands out and punches more. And now select both the L's, Alt G, so you're starting to group each layer together. Alt G, Alt G, Alt G, Alt G. So hold Control when you want to select both, and then Alt G, and then Alt G, and then just drag them into here. And now let's also, so the axis needs to be in the middle, not on like the edge here. It needs to, oh. So if you always move out, like if you get away from your camera, you don't know what you're doing, press S, and it will like, oh, well, it won't rotate back, but it will position you back to what you were looking at. So if you want to go into mesh and then go to axis center, and here include children, use all objects, and press execute. I'll put it in the center, and do it for each letter you've created. And there. One thing you can do is actually rename each one to what the letter actually corresponds to. So C and then I, just to make it quite, I don't know, easier to work with if you want to change one individually. Now let's do MoGraph effector. Let's do random. Uncheck that. Rotation. Set to 5. And you can see now how it looks a bit cool, how it's randomized. One thing I'm actually going to add is a twist. So hold that down, go into twist, and drag it in here. And this can be quite hard to work with, but it's cool when you know what you're doing. So let's rotate it like that. You kind of want to make it so it's also in the middle of the whole text. So I'm also gonna go into chord and expand the size, which is, I think, yeah, that one. There we go. So it's like a box essentially around the whole text, and then you wanna just mess with the things here. So I think what you can do is 0, 0, 0. Oh, actually, that's just gonna bring it back down there. Yeah, so it's all about playing around with it. So that actually kind of looks cool there, how it is. It's all about playing around with it. And then you also need to do your camera, so something like that. And then you've also got to create your mats. So you want to double click down there and then just double click the mat you created. These are your materials. So I like to go onto the cube, make it purely white, reflectance, just mess around with that a bit. Kind of want a really reflective kind of text layer going, and then duplicate it and actually create another color. So you tend to want to go with, like, say, blue, because latency's other colors blue, I guess. And open these layers up. So the way I see which one's which is just add the color that isn't white onto one of the corresponding text objects. So the other one's going to be the front one here, and add that. So I'm just going to add on all the white ones, so they're always going to be the bottom one, unless you've messed up somewhere. And then do C, and then do I, and then do the blue ones. Like so. Oh, strap out there. There you go. So yeah, now you can just, I say, render this, call it latency render 3 or text, and hit render, and that should begin to render. So yeah, I'll bring you back when it's done rendering. Alright, so it's done rendering. I think it looks pretty nice and clean. So I'm just gonna file, place it into Photoshop. So sorry if I'm saying so a lot. I don't know if it's bad or not, but yeah, you know, and my phone just vibrated. I'm just gonna lob it onto my bed. Okay, and let's drag in this. Right, rasterize it. Let's make it smaller, obviously, because that's quite big. Although we could probably curve it a bit like that. Drag it under the CC, obviously. So we want it to stay within the tone of it. I think what I'm going to do with this guy is just push him a bit more in. Like that. Away from the text just a little bit using the arrows. And yeah, that kind of looks cool. Kind of want to make the background more black and white, so it doesn't have so much green in it. You can always just adjust that layer like that. And then let's also add some motion blur onto the character. So if you duplicate the layer, drag it underneath, filter, blur, motion blur, set to 12, I guess. Why am I not seeing anything? Oh yeah, there is motion blur going on, I think. Oh yeah, there we go. 47. Nah, let's not add motion blur, because it just looks a bit weird. But usually when I do, I just, yeah, rub out the bit where it isn't on. I'm trying to think what I can also add. What I tend to do is make a new layer here and get the brush. Where's the brush? Hold that down, do that. Go onto like black. Add a bit of a vignette. Go onto here. I think I said that right. 750 in size, and then I just zoom out a bit and curve around the edges there. And then yeah. So, and then what you can also do is say blue. Add another one. Add these dots that go around. And you can mess around with these layers to try, like that one there, soft light makes it look kind of cool. So yeah, if I go on soft light and just reduce it down a bit, that makes it look kind of cool. And then yeah, so that there kind of, I guess, finishes it off for the banner tutorial, but I'm gonna do some more editing on top with some packs that aren't free, so like Fyre's Essentials and some other color grading packs. And to be honest, if you're starting off, using packs is probably the best thing ever. Like, it will enhance your banners a lot, but when you start to evolve into making banners, start to learn some new things, such as this thing, and just ways to make your banners look better. So yeah, I'm gonna go and start by using some packs to enhance it. So if you want to stay in and watch, be free to do that. So I'm gonna open a pack called Fyre's Essential. I used this in my what's it called, my last tutorial, mainly because there's this one thing here, and it makes banners look quite literally amazing. There's locked. What do you mean there's locked? I guess I have to drag that out and then drag it. So like, yeah, you can just see if I drag that underneath, it can make lighting look amazing. So the bigger you make it, the more of a range it kind of has. So I tend to do that quite a lot. So if I put one there, duplicate it, let's also put one around here. Zoom out a bit, and I've lost it now. Turn off auto select. There we go. Just put one there and put one here. That really does enhance your banner, this lighting. So if I were to merge them together, well, that kind of ruins it. But see, if I turn it off and then turn it on, oh, you can see how much better it already makes the banner look. And then I'm also gonna try maybe add some fire to it. Let's see. Fire. Just drag that in just here. Maybe add the fire to the shurikens down here. If you do, I think, Control T, right click, and then warp, you can actually bend the fire a bit to your liking, I guess. So if you want something really bendy and curvy, do that. Although it kind of does make it look a bit weird now. As I didn't bend it right, I don't think. Let's just undo. And I think if I bend it like Control T, right click, I'll duplicate it. Okay, Control T, right click, and warp. Let's just swap that like that. And then drag it under here. That looks cool. And yeah, what else could we add? There's a lot of things in these packs, like smoke. I like to add smoke because it just really does enhance your banner as well. Gives it a bit of emphasis to it, I guess. Just add just a little smoke there. You could even put it behind the characters. Also, you can add flares, which I did in my other one. So if you go into lighting effects, and you can add all these different ones, but I'm just gonna hide that because yeah, you don't really get to see it. So like, let's try that. Drag that in. If you hit Control U, you can actually change the color of what you've like selected, I guess. But this looks a bit weird when you change the color of it, so I'm not going to use that. A lot of things don't look a bit weird, but that one just did, I guess. Kind of want a lighter blue. Let's do a glow on the arm, and then as for the other glow, just do another one there on this arm, and then let's also add some flares. See, these are already a color that I kind of like, but I need to select it. And then we can do is add a flare onto, say, the eye just there. Put it on the right spot, you can actually rotate it. So let's duplicate it again. Let's do one down here as well. Use the arrows. See that thing there? It's like a crosshair. Try to get it on the right spot as well, I guess. And I'm starting to feel like it's a bit too blue. Oh, Jesus. Right, so I'm also gonna open a color grading kind of pack thing that I've got going. So I think it's this one that I used. I can't remember which one it was I used. Come on. Hey. Okay, so CCs. Let's just hide the example. I just straight up like to drag the CC layer into here and start playing around with some things. So actually let's drag it down here. Let's hide that CC. See, this is what it looks like when it's plain without CCs, other than the background thing. So if you start messing around with them, like that one looks kind of cool. You can always change the opacity of them, so they might be a bit heavy at the moment, but so I like them too. But then that there looks kind of cool. So although yeah, it does look cool. I think I'm just gonna lower my main one, my blue one there, just a bit. So yeah, that's what you gotta do. You gotta play around, and you can kind of see how it looks a bit weird here with the blue glow. So, oh, that's not it. I think it's that one. Just gonna move that over there to that arm instead. And then you can always close this one. See what else there is in the packs that you've got that help make things better. So. There's a lot of smoke in this one, I remember. Where's the lighting? I think it's this one. Is it particles? This might be cool. I don't know. That is very laggy though. Oh, it's because I've dragged the whole thing in. No, I haven't. What? So yeah, sorry for being a bit quiet. It's just that I'm really trying things out here. If it gets really laggy, you can just always disable some of the CCs. That tends to help a bit, see. Right, rotate that way. I might actually try something like this. If you go onto, this probably won't look good, but above the text layer, and just have it there, and do create clipping mask. Yeah, that kind of looks bad. Unless you mess around with these blending modes. There could be a certain layer that makes it look quite cool. I don't think there is. So I'm going to delete that. It is really just all about playing around because, you know, well, you probably don't if you're watching this, but it really is just all about playing around. But once you get something you like, it's all about trial and error, and then when you start to make better banners, you will improve and whatnot. So I'm gonna close this because it's taking up a lot of RAM. I'm gonna open up another pack. Packs are like the savior of everything. Where is it? Update V3 Hansels. So with this pack, it comes with basically everything you need to make a banner. Like, it comes with a few screenshots, some color grading, and that's what I like about this pack, Hansel's pack. But it is to his style, and his style's a bit colorful and out there, so I don't think I'm going to be using much from this pack, but there is some things that you might like from this pack. Alright, so once the pack's open, you can see there's a ton of stuff in here. So close that. You've got all these wacky effects here. The flares here as well. So yeah, let's maybe add, I kind of want a glow kind of thing. These ones are quite nice actually. If I apply the CCs, it's always good to work around the CCs because they tend to be, Control J, what am I doing, Control J. They tend to be what makes the banner. So if I just add some sparkles there, what I'm actually going to do is add a new layer. Use the brush, go back onto a black one, and just go underneath. And then I'm going to bring that just above the text, I guess. That actually looks pretty cool. And the renders, I think, so I don't know why the renders aren't with the text, but where's the text layer? That one. That's the smoke that makes the renders look a bit weird, so let's bring them down. There we go. That is starting to look good. I feel I really like the look of this right now. See if there's anything else that might look cool. I feel like we could have a fire backing on the text. Which I think I did in one of my earlier banners. Okay, so if we turn that off and we do Control T again and warp, You can try to warp the flames in a specific way, like that. Bring it under the text. Enable CC. You can already see that's starting to look good. One thing I really don't like is the fire on this guy, because it's really like overexposed and bright. I'm not sure why, but it just is. So I'm actually going to get a different flame. Actually, I think it might have been overexposed because of the glow, maybe. No, it's just overexposed in general. Okay, so let's get a different flame. Oh, we don't want to edit the style of that. See, yeah, it looks really bright there. That's the same flame. Something like that looks good. Yeah, definitely. Let's just leave that like that. Control T. Warp. Let's just brush it up into the air a bit like that. That's starting to look good. The glow on this side though. I'm thinking about getting rid of the glows. Yeah, the glows are like too much now that I think about it. You can probably make a subtle glow like this by making a new layer down there again. And if we find the layers just here and using your brush tool, get a decent size, like that's about right. And I don't know, pick a color like that. Zoom in a bit and let's get right into detail. So hold shift and then click and then hold shift. And click, hold shift, click, click, hold shift, click. And then what that does is it starts to make some lines that are straight. And if you keep doing that, I actually think there needs to be more here. Okay, that kind of looks weird, but there we go. And then we can start to mess around with these things. So I'm thinking soft light. What does it look like without it? Something like that, just to give it a subtle glow. Maybe even filter blur, Gaussian blur, and then that blurs it a little bit as well on top of it. And I'm thinking there needs to be a flame on this side just because it balances it. Like there's too much flames on the right side than the left, so if we find a flame that might look cool. Actually, that one there, that there looks like it's already burning off of the bow. Yeah, that actually looks alright. Maybe I need to warp that a little bit, but that looks alright. I kind of like how it's going off of it as well. Yeah, so I think I'm actually done for sure now. So you can see how I was done before, and it was okay, like it could be used, but when you do have paid packs, it does really enhance your banner. So yeah, a lot of these things can just be found off Google Images, which, to be honest, all the designers, they did that. There's no way they drew all these flames. They made the CCs and all the other like 2D effects themselves and screenshots, but some things they didn't, like the flares and that, because you know they're used in different packs. Like I saw this flare in the other pack, and that flame, the overexposed flame, was in Fyre's Essentials, and like summons, and this one update Hansel's. So yeah, a lot of it's off Google Images, so you can go there for basically anything. But yeah, so also the links will be in the description of all the packs I've used, or the download to what you need to make this stuff. And yeah, I'm done now, so thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. Also comment what tutorials you want to see, because I'm thinking about doing animation tutorials, but only if people really want to see them. And yeah, I really like how this banner came out, so yeah, thank you for watching. Peace.